I had 4 of my tarot card designs accepted by an international show that was in Bondeno, Italy. And when the catalog came, I saw my work was described, and I used a very deep black background on it. My figures were all in sharp chiaroscuro on a black background. The Prodiga diNero inchiostro that is basically a squanderer of black ink. And I just loved that. So I started using Prodiga diNero as my nom de plume, as it were. There's so much unwritten curriculum of things you have to go through. And for one thing, it's doubly and triply hard to pay attention to a subject, work on a subject that one isn't connected with. And then there's so many unwritten expectations. Everything from the protocol of addressing a professor the correct way to navigating the social landscape of the groups of students. And this is something that follows us all through. And I think it's something that's completely missed, because for most of us who get to the university level particularly, we're assumed to be fine.
You know, we are raised in this American society that we can be whoever we want to be or just go for it, and there's a lot of supports at the lower grade levels in school. So once people kind of get used to that and walk into college, I think there's just a letdown generally. Maybe that's true for a lot of other students too, without autism.
It's in the way I concentrate. It's in the way that I perceive. It's both in the sense of metaphor, which carries to my writing as well as to my illustration. Sense of everything also being processed through my visual cortex. I have some very odd linkages in my brain. That's where the gift comes from too. That's my mind's eye. It's that off-kilter way of that different perspective that lets me see the way I do. It is in many ways an invisible disability and is very much connected with aspects of behavior which are considered ungraceful, rude, inconsiderate. And so the onus is always on the person, and it's as though I'm asking you for the right to be inconsiderate to you. So, and if I'm saying that's because of some inherent failing in me, which is the way it reads, not difference, then yeah, there's definitely this pullback, and not, hey, maybe she's really good at something else. You know, maybe that would be a positive thing. Maybe she can sit at that computer and lay out this book and get it just beautiful and not have those lapses of attention. But that doesn't matter. It is more valuable, at least in terms of being able to get through. It's more valuable to be able to grease the appropriate track than to really produce the work. It was very poignant for me to come back here for a writers' conference, which this last fall, and I was helped around the campus by an MFA student. It was the first time I had asked for an accommodation for my disability. I had always relied on passing before. And she was so helpful, and it made all the difference in the world. We can be profoundly emotional without showing it, which I think is in some ways, our deepest disability.
The brain with autism, it's really hard for that sometimes to multitask. So a person could have lots of feelings but not show it on their face at the same time as fluidly as other people who don't have spectrum disorder.
Biomech is a very apt metaphor for what I have to do to interface, because so much of what I have to do is machine-like in order to engage with the world around me. One of the images that I have is a narrative set of a female figure without legs in a straitjacket, but who has this elaborate biomechanical locomotion and articulation that she uses. That figure in some form definitely recurs for me. Lives, and certainly meaningful lives, are at stake. And I can't be but so conciliatory. If you are capable of understanding what I'm saying, you're capable of listening to what I'm saying. My activism is to prevent what I see is at best a waste and at most the opening the door to eugenics for people like me. You know, there are these young kids who are being put through ABA for the sole interest of appearing more normal, but they're losing their ability to do the magic, which is what they were born for. I was driven to get a diagnosis after I failed here at Chatham to complete one more time. I pulled out. And I had always taken that to be some kind of a moral failing within myself. But then once I was diagnosed, it made a lot of things clearer to me, but it was really kind of too late. I mean, I'm still paying on the loans, and just my chances for doing that, I think, are pretty much done. I'm going to be 60 next year.